All right, you know what time it is. Live from the Bare Muscle Garage, it's time for Fit Crew. What do we got in store for you today? Let's go ahead and share this on screen. So for today's workout, we've got a nice long sweat fest for you here. We're going to be doing as many rounds as possible in 24 minutes of 16 overhead walking lunges, 12 toe to bar, 8 single arm hang clean and jerks on one arm each round, and 4 shuttle runs. And we may be looking at this thinking, hey, this seems super long. I don't have a bar to hang from. Don't worry, guys. As always, we're going to warm up really well, and we're going to go through all the options that will allow you to do this workout or your version of it right where you are, using what you have and doing what you can. But let's go ahead and start this general warm up. Here we go. Let's get some arm circles going back, arm circles back. And as you know, my name is Coach Chris. I am a level 3 CrossFit trainer, which means I've logged thousands of hours over many years, helping many people just like you live their best life through health and fitness. Let's switch to arm circles forward. One of the ways I've been privileged to help you guys live your best life is through Habit Master Private Coaching. And we have our awesome Habit Master coaches who are eagle-eyed and super sympathetic to help you dial in your habits and to improve your form and mechanics in these workouts. So if you've benefited from either private training or health coaching, how has it helped you? That's what we want to know from you as we continue to warm up. Let's move on to arms across the chest. Hug yourself, love yourself. And let's hear first from one of our awesome Habit Master coaches, Coach D, Twin One. Go ahead, say your name, where you're from, how have you benefited from coaching, and what do you appreciate about coaching others?
I'm Denise from New York, and I really do appreciate the private coaching. It's a one-on-one. You work with someone, or in my case, when I had the one-on-one, I remember there was so much that I thought I knew, but I didn't. And so when Coach pointed out certain things that I could improve on with my form, it really helped me. I was able to do the movements better, more efficiently. I was able to move heavier weight easier. So I know when we do that with others, it's the same. It's like awesome to be able to pass that on to others, help them with their workout, and seeing them also go through the same like experience of, wow, I feel so much better doing this move now. So it's really awesome getting to pass that along.
And we appreciate your progress and you being able to pass that along as well. Let's go ahead and move on to some wrist wave. And while we're doing the wrist wave here, let's hear from Mighty Mouse. Go ahead and say your name, where you're from, and how have you benefit from Habit Master coaching?
Hi, my name's Renicia. I'm from Georgia. I benefit from the private semi-private coaching because it's better like from when you exercising by yourself, you have somebody actually looking at you. And for me, the coach is able to look at me and maybe change some things or say we need to do something another kind of way. So it have helped me in my progress and helped me to get stronger to have that option.
And it's just amazing to see that when you get stronger, you strengthen all of us as well. Always amazing to see how you're able to just tackle any challenge we throw your way. And it keeps getting harder and harder, right, Mighty Mouse? But thank you for your great work. Let's go ahead and move on to some high knees. High knees into the chest, or if it works better, we can do some high elbows like this. And while we're doing this, let's hear from Millicent. Go ahead and say your name, where you're from, and how have you benefit from Habit Master coaching?
My name is Millicent, and I'm in Chicago. And I've benefited from the semi-coaching as well because sometimes when you're doing a move, you might see it and you might think you're doing it, but when you have someone looking at you, they can tell whether you're doing the move properly. And usually when you're not, when they correct you, then the move feels better and you feel like you can continue to do it because you know you don't have any pain. So I appreciate being able to know how to do the move and the confidence now that with that coaching, I'm always able to, when I hear one of the movements, then I'm familiar with how it goes. So it just makes me more familiar with it and it makes me able to do it better.
We appreciate you being so coachable and applying it right away because we are definitely on a mission to stay off the pain train. And you being able to follow those coaching cues is just a great example for all of us. Let's go ahead and move on to some calf raises. Up on the toe, back on the heel, up on the toe, back on the heel. Or if it works better, we could do some wrist extensions like this. And while we're doing this, let's hear from Beatriz. Go ahead and say your name, where you're from, and how have you benefit from Habit Master Coaching?
Mi nombre es Beatriz, vivo en Santiago de los Caballeros, República Dominicana. Los buenos hábitos me han ayudado bastante en todo sentido de mi vida. Por ejemplo, el hecho de estar activo en hacer los ejercicios y el estiramiento, eso me ha ayudado mucho a mantenerme estable en sentido físico y emocional, mental. El hecho de preparar mi comida un día antes, organizarme, eso me ayuda mucho a economizar mi bolsillo y también a controlar las cosas que yo como, así cuido mi salud. Y el hecho de tomar suficiente agua, me siento hidratada en todo momento, eso ayuda a mi piel y en sentido general, cuando hago los ejercicios, las articulaciones están bien hidratadas, eso me ayuda mucho. También dormir suficiente me ayuda también a mantenerme mi salud estable. O sea, todos los buenos hábitos son excelentes para uno vivir mejor en este sistema que hay tanto problema.
Y muchas gracias, Beatriz. It is so awesome to hear how this program is helping you in all aspects of your life. Let's go ahead and move on to some jumping jacks, or we could do some stepping jacks if we want low impact. And so Habit Master Coaching is one of the best ways to get what you individually need out of this program. And you can either get private Habit Master coaching sessions, or you could also sign up for some semi-private sessions as well. So if you want more info about any of that, please click on that link that's in this video, or feel free to message me directly for details. Let's take a break from this warm-up, guys, and we're going to move on to the activation phase, which is where we're going to do a couple different moves that are going to help us to get ready for today's workout. The first thing we're going to do is some single leg glute bridges, and let's go ahead and have twin one demonstrate 2 single leg glute bridges on the same leg for us. And if we're doing this from the seated position, then the single leg glute bridge is actually going to be a single arm reverse fly like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 single leg glute bridges, 5 on each side. So a couple things to keep in mind. We're going to be laying on our back. We're going to pull the feet in super close to the hips. We're going to squeeze those glutes, getting the hips as high as we can in the air, getting higher and higher each rep. And we want to think fast up, hold the top, slow on the way back down. And so good job here on these glute bridges. Next, we're going to do some single leg raises, and let's go ahead and have twin one demonstrate 2 single leg raises for us. And if we're doing this from the seated position, then we're actually going to do some alternate, some sit forward arm raises like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 single leg raises, 5 straight through on each side. So a couple things to keep in mind. We're pointing those toes and we're going to raise that leg all the way up. And as high as we can get, if we can get it past 90, great, or as high as we can get that, and then slow on the way back down. And so good job here on these single leg raises. Next, we're going to move on to some Supermans. And let's go ahead and have twin one demonstrate 2 Supermans for us. And if we're doing this from the seated position, then those Supermans are going to look like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 Supermans together. So a couple things to keep in mind. We're laying face down, got those arms out in front of us, legs back, and we are raising those arms and those legs, holding the top there for about 2 seconds before coming back down. And like the other moves, we want to think, hold the top for about 2 seconds before coming back down. And we're dialing in all of these muscles in the posterior chain. And so good job here on these Supermans. Next, we're going to do some Kirby approved bird dogs. And let's go ahead and have twin one demonstrate 2 bird dogs for us. And if we're doing this from the seated position, then those bird dogs are going to look like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 bird dogs together. So a couple things to keep in mind. We're going to be on hands and knees, and we're going to raise opposite arm, opposite leg. And it could be that doing this off our hands and knees is a bit of a challenge for us, in which case we may choose to do the dead bug. And let's go ahead and have twin one demonstrate 2 dead bugs for us. So basically it's the same move. It's an upside down bird dog. We've got the arms and the knees in the air, and then we're lowering opposite arm, opposite leg. But good job here on either these bird dogs or these dead bugs, whatever we choose to do. Next, we're going to warm up the calves, and let's go ahead and have twin one demonstrate 2 reps of the dynamic calf stretch for us. And if we're doing this from the seated position, then we're actually going to do some dynamic elbows like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 reps of the dynamic calf stretch on each side. So a couple things to keep in mind. We are piking those hips up, bending the one knee, pulling that back heel into the ground, holding that for about 2 seconds before switching sides there. Now, it could be that doing this off the ground is a bit hard on the wrist, in which case we may choose to do this off of an inclined surface. Let's go ahead and have twin one demonstrate here. It could be off of a sofa, could be off a counter, could even be off the wall, but we are going to bend that one knee and pull that back heel into the ground from an inclined plank position. But good job here on the dynamic calf stretch, whether we're doing it off the ground or off of an inclined surface. Next, we're going to do some high knees, and let's go ahead and have twin one demonstrate a couple reps of these high knees marching in place. And if we're doing this from the seated position, then we're going to do some alternating forward arm raises like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 reps of the high knees on each leg. So a couple things to keep in mind. We are standing and we are raising those knees up above hip level, marching in place here. We're going to be doing these a lot faster a little bit later once we get into the shuttle runs. But for right now, we're keeping this low impact, raising those knees above hip level, shifting the weight as needed. And so good job here on these high knees. Next, we're going to do some lunges. So let's go ahead and have twin one demonstrate 2 lunges for us. And if we're doing this from the seated position, then those lunges are going to look like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 reps of the lunges total, 5 on each side. So with the lunge, we want to make sure a couple key things here. We have some nice protection for the knee. So whether we're doing this on a mat or whether we're wearing knee sleeves, but we're taking a nice big step forward and slightly to the side until that back knee touches the ground. And then we're driving through the feet until we get all the way back up to a standing position. Now, it could be that this range of motion is challenging for us, in which case we may choose to do some step ups. Let's have twin one demonstrate here. We're either going to get a footstool or a step ladder or something along those lines. And we're going to get both feet up, both feet down, alternating legs each time. And so good job here on these lunges or these step ups, if that's what we choose to do. Next, what I'd like you to do is let's everyone go ahead and grab a light dumbbell if you have one. By light, I mean 10 pounds or less, 5 kilos or less. If we don't have a light dumbbell, then any common household item will do. It could be a shoe, it could be a water bottle, it could be a pillow, it could be a teddy bear. But we always warm up super light before we go heavy, if at all. So with this light dumbbell in hand, let's go ahead and have twin one demonstrate 2 reps of the single arm dumbbell for us. And if we're doing this from the seated position, then those single arm dumbbell deadlifts are going to look like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 reps of these single arm dumbbell deadlifts, 5 on each arm. So on these single arm deadlifts, that dumbbell is going to start on the ground in between the feet. And then we're going to get those hips super low while keeping the chest up, eyes up. And we're going to take a deep breath in and drive the ground away until we get to a fully standing position with the shoulders back at the top. And then we're going to, of course, try to keep that core nice and tight on the way back down as well. Deep breath in, keeping that core tight. So good job here on these deadlifts. And finally, here in the activation phase, we're going to do some strict press, single dumbbell strict press. Let's go ahead and have twin one demonstrate 2 reps of the strict press for us. And if we're doing this from the seated position, then that single arm strict press is going to look like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 strict press, 5 on each side. So a couple things to keep in mind here. that dumbbell is going to start on the shoulder, and we've got the elbow pointing forward. And then we're going to take a deep breath in, pressing that arm back into the ear to make sure we have a nice straight dumbbell path. We don't want that dumbbell getting ahead of us. And so we're pressing that arm back until the bicep reaches the ear, and then making sure that the elbow is pointing forward on the way back down as well. So good job here on this strict press. Well, that is it for the activation phase. Now we're going to move on to the movement prep, which is where we're going to practice specifically the 4 moves that we're doing in today's workout. The first move is going to be overhead walking lunges. And we're going to practice this without weight right now. We're going to use just our fist to make sure that we can see a couple key things before we even think about adding weight. And let's go ahead and have Twin One demonstrate a couple reps of these walking lunges for us. Now, it could be that we don't have space to walk out these lunges, that we need to lunge in place, in which case we could do some in-place overhead lunges like this. And if we are doing this from the seated position, then we're going to have one fist in the air while we curl the other arm like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 overhead lunges, 5 with each arm in the air. So a couple key things that we want to see here before we even think about adding weight. Notice how Twin One has a locked out arm, and she's able to pull that arm back to keep it in line with the middle of the body. And so we definitely want to see a stable overhead position before we even think about adding weight. Now, it could be that we were doing some step-ups in the warm-up instead of the lunges, in which case that's fine as well. Perhaps we can get Millicent to unblur her screen there. She's doing some step-ups over there. Or perhaps Twin One can demonstrate a couple overhead lunges. So we've got the arm locked out, and we're getting both feet up, both feet down, with that overhead arm locked out in place there. But very important that we keep in mind, if we're thinking about adding weight to this, we need to make sure that we're able to have a stable overhead position, no bend in the arm whatsoever, and that arm not falling out in front of us. We need to be able to pull that arm back and have it straight up. But good job here on these overhead lunges. The second move that we're doing in today's workout is toes to bar. And the toes to bar are going to look like this. So notice, this is a pretty high skill gymnastics bodyweight movement that requires the use of a pull-up bar, but many of us don't have a pull-up bar. We're actually going to do an at-home modification that's also a good warm-up, even if we do have a pull-up bar. We're going to do some toes to broom. So let's go ahead and grab a broomstick here, and let's get ready to practice some toes to broom. So with the broomstick in hand, let's go ahead and have Twin One demonstrate 2 reps of the toe to broom for us. And if we're doing this from the seated position, then that toe to broom is going to look like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 reps of the toe to broom. So a couple things to keep in mind. We're laying face up on the ground. We've got those arms out behind us. We're going to take a deep breath in and brace that core. raising that broomstick toward the toes at the top. Now, if we're having difficulty reaching those toes or at least the ankles, then we can do the single leg version. Let's have Twin One show us a couple reps of the single leg toe to broom. And that's actually a lot better for many people who are still building core strength and developing the musculature of the lower back. And so if this is better for your lower back, this is also a good option for you on the single leg toe to broom. And if this is too challenging as well, then we can just do some of those single leg raises or the straight leg sit-ups that we were doing in the warm-up. And let's see a couple reminders of the single leg raises, or perhaps even the straight leg sit-ups if we feel we can do those. A good job here on these toe to broom. And at this point, if you do have a pull-up bar and you'd like to try some progressions to the toe to bar, then I'd like you to hang from that bar, and then we could do some hanging knee raises. And then we can progress to some hanging straight leg raises as well. Working on getting those legs progressively higher. The third move that we're doing in today's workout is the single dumbbell hang clean and jerks. And we're going to do, on each round, we're going to do all 8 reps on one arm. So let's go ahead and have Twin One demonstrate 3 reps of that hang clean and jerk on one arm. And if we're doing this from the seated position, then that hang clean and jerk is going to look like this. So let's go ahead and let's see 10 hang clean and jerks, 5 on each side. So on that hang clean and jerk, a couple key things here. We're going to initiate that move by getting that dumbbell back between the legs. And we're going to squeeze those glutes, jumping that up to the shoulder, and then punching that arm back, getting that bicep into the ear at the top. And we want to make this, as much as possible, a leg-based thing. We are using the glutes and the hamstrings to jump that dumbbell up in a 2-phase movement here. We're jumping it to the shoulder first, then jumping it again before we punch it back overhead. And so good job on these clean and jerks. Then finally, the 4th move we're doing in this workout today is shuttle runs. Now, preferably, we're doing 50-foot shuttle runs, meaning we're going to run 25 feet down and back. And every time we get back, that's when we count that rep. So to be clear, let's go ahead and have Twin One show us one 50-foot shuttle run. And when she gets to the other side, she's going to tap the ground, and then she's going to get back, boom, tapping that ground. So that was one 50-foot shuttle run. But if we don't have a 25-foot span of space, we can do our shuttle runs in place. We can, each set of 20 high knees in place equals a shuttle run. And let's go ahead and have Twin One demonstrate an in-place shuttle run there, which always makes Kirby excited. Boom, and that was one in-place shuttle run. And if we're doing this from the seated position, then each shuttle run is going to be 20 arm raises. And after each, we're going to clap those hands or tap the ground if that's what we choose to do. So let's go ahead and do 5 shuttle runs here to warm up. And so a couple things to keep in mind on these shuttle runs. We want to raise those knees to our level of comfort there. So if we can raise those knees above the hips, awesome. But if we're trying to manage our impact, then, hey, let's just raise those knees to whatever level of comfort is good for us. And if tapping the ground is going to get kind of spicy on the lower back, then we have the option not to tap that ground we can use different methods to keep track of each shuttle run. And so good job here on these shuttle runs, whether we're doing the 50-foot version, which is the 25-foot down and back, or whatever other version fits our circumstances. Well, now it's ramp up time. If you've been doing this program long enough to earn your first badge, and you'd like to start adding some weight to do either the scaled, intermediate, or RX weight. And additionally, if you're thinking about adding weight to that overhead lunge position, let's make sure that we have a stable overhead position before we add weight to that movement. It could be that we need to use less weight or even no weight using just our fist. That's completely fine. And especially if this is our first couple workouts here, we have not earned our badge yet, or we're just getting back into this after a long time off, then please let's not add any weight. That super light weight is going to be more than enough for you today. It's very important that we have the right form and consistency with all our habits before we've earned the right to add or reintroduce intensity, such as by adding weight or going fast. And whether we're adding weight or not, let's pay close attention to the following checklist. Number 1, please make sure your device is fully charged or plugged in so we can get through this whole workout without losing you. Number 2, let's grab some water. Let's take a sip. Let's make sure we got our water nearby so we can take a sip as needed all throughout the workout. Number 3, I'm going to give everyone a 3, 2, 1, go countdown. And that's how you can synchronize your timer with mine if you choose to use one. Number 4, music. Super important. This is not a short one today. You're going to want a good number of jams that are going to keep you motivated all throughout the workout. The great thing is you can listen to your playlist. You can blast your music as loud as you want, as long as you can still hear me helping you throughout the workout. And lastly, how are we keeping track of these rounds? This is a 24-minute workout, and we're going to get potentially a good amount of rounds in. So let's make sure we have some type of system, like a scorecard or something along those lines, that helps us to know how far we are without getting lost. And something else that helps with that is having the workout written down close by. So if you're a teacher's pet like Millicent, winning the Teacher's Pet Award today, it's kind of blurred there. Maybe we could take off the blur feature, but we've got Mighty Mouse, a very close second place, always with the scorecard award. And then we've got Beatrice as well with the big old whiteboard award, and Twin One with the multiple color award. Let's go ahead and take a teacher's pet picture just to show how prepared you are. Teacher's pet picture in 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. I'm going to bring the workout back on screen one more time here, and then we'll get going. So in just about a minute, we're going to start this timer. And we're about to do this 24-minute AMRAP. That means as many rounds as possible in 24 minutes of 16 dumbbell overhead walking lunges, 12 toes to bar, 8 single dumbbell hang clean and jerks on one arm each round, and 4 shuttle runs. Very important that we're not adding weight to the overhead lunge unless we have that stable overhead position. If there's any bend in the arm or any forward inclination, let's reduce the weight or go no weight. And that's actually going to be more beneficial for us than changing that lunge position to like a goblet squat. We still need to work on our overhead stability. So let's challenge ourselves to improve our overhead stability. On the toe to bar, if we don't have that pull-up bar, then we're doing those toe to broom on the ground. It could be double leg, it could be single leg, or it could be any other variation of those core movements that we did in the warm-up. On the hang clean and jerks, let's remember that it's one arm each round. So we're doing all 8 on that left arm in the first round, Once we get back to that in the second round, we're doing all 8 on that right arm, so on and so forth. And then the 4 shuttle runs at the end of each round. Preferably, if we have a 25-foot space, we're doing 4 sets of the 25 feet down and back. Otherwise, we're doing 4 sets of the 20 high knees for those in-place shuttle runs. So your score is going to be the amount of rounds you get through in these 24 minutes of the 16 total overhead walking lunges, 8 on each arm, 12 toe to broom, 8 hang clean and jerks on 1 arm each round, and the 4 sets of shuttle runs. So if you're good to go, give me a thumbs up over here and we'll get this going. I'm going to give us a 10-second countdown, and then I'm going to highlight twin 1 to get us going. So here we go, guys. 16 overhead lunges, 8 on each arm, 12 toe to broom, 8 hang clean and jerks on 1 arm each round, and the 4 sets of shuttle runs. Starting in 10 seconds. Let's get ready. 3, 2, 1, go. And we are off on these overhead lunges. And notice twin 1 taking some big steps, taking 8 lunges down, then 8 lunges with the other arm. Beatrice choosing to lunge in place. And we got Mighty Mouse locking that arm out overhead, curling with the other one. And then we've got Millicent doing some overhead step-ups. And so lots of different options here to get the stimulus and challenge that we need for our circumstances. And after these lunges, moving on to the toe to broom. And so we got twin 1 breaking out that cool toe to broom cane. Deep breath in, bracing that core, reaching for those toes. All the way up, we got Mighty Mouse, getting that full range of motion. All the way down, all the way back up. And then reminder, we're doing 12 of these before moving on to the next move. And we have Millicent choosing to do the single leg raises. And so that's going to be 6 on one side, followed by 6 on the other side. But great work here, whether we're doing the single leg or the double leg version of these. And we got twin 1 getting up, getting ready to hit these hang clean and jerks. And let's really make this a leg thing. So notice how she's getting that dumbbell back between the legs, which is helping her to power that up and then jumping and punching that back. Getting that bicep into the ear. And we're doing all 8 on 1 arm. And then once we get back to that in the next arm, and the next round, we're doing the other arm. Now let's remember, these are from the hang, meaning we're not tapping the ground. We're getting this back between the legs so that we can really use those glutes to power that up. And then after the 8 clean and jerks on 1 arm, we're then doing the shuttle run. So there she goes, Kirby's off with her. Mighty Mouse finishing off these hang clean and jerks, about to head on to some shuttle runs. And we've got Beatrice as well on these shuttle runs, doing 4 sets of the 20 high knees in place. And we got twin 1 just about finishing off that 4th one, and now about to move on to round 2. And so far, everyone is on track to finish within today's target window. And no matter what weights that we choose to use, or no matter what movement options that we make, we want to make sure that we're choosing options that will allow us to finish within the time caps or target windows as written, because that's what's going to challenge us the right way and to help us to have the correct stimulus in the workout. So let's make sure we are using options that are going to challenge us exactly the way that we're supposed to be. And after those lunges, going to be moving on to the toe to broom. And twin one, making quick work of that toe to broom. And after that, moving on to the hang clean and jerks on the other arm this round. And so remember, we're doing 8 total reps of the clean and jerk. And whatever arm we used on that first round, we're now using the other arm in this round. But awesome work there, twin one. Mighty Mouse as well on these hang clean and jerks. And let's remember, we have lots of different options for all these moves. So Millicent choosing to do the single leg raises, finishing off those before moving on to the clean and jerks. And we got Beatrice doing the other arm here in this round. And now we got twin one taking off on the 4 shuttle runs to finish round 2 here. So great work there, twin one. And Millicent as well, doing the 8 clean and jerks. So great work there, Millicent. And now Millicent about to move on to some shuttle runs on this round. And so far, everyone doing what they got to do. Making pretty good time here. Awesome pacing. So most of us finishing off round 2, moving into round 3. And on these overhead lunges, especially as we get tired here, let's really pay attention to make sure that we're maintaining a strong overhead position. So we've got that upper arm locked out and we're able to hit the full range of motion. And we're going all the way down, all the way back. But great work here, guys. Twin one finishing off those lunges in round 3. Moving on to the toe to broom cane. Let's remember to brace each and every single rep there. Don't want to be caught not bracing. So deep breath in. Bracing that core. And we got Mighty Mouse as well, getting that full range of motion. Awesome work here. Millicent finishing off some overhead step-ups before moving on to the other side, actually. But then, yeah, as soon as she finishes off those overhead step-ups, going to be moving on to those single leg raises. And here comes twin one, back onto these 8 clean and jerks. Now back to that first arm. And especially as we're getting tired here, guys, we want to remember to use the power of the legs. We're keeping that chest up. Sure, yeah, we're getting the dumbbell back between the legs, but then we're keeping the chest up the whole time. And let's remember, Beatrice, it's only 8 clean and jerks, and we're doing all 8 on one arm. Entonces solamente un brazo, Beatriz. 8 repeticiones, solamente un brazo. Todos los 8. And Twin One finishing those clean and jerks and going on to the shuttle runs, which is Kirby's favorite part. Gets to go on a little trip all the way down, all the way back. Mighty Mouse as well. So nice work here, guys. Let's do it. And we got Millicent choosing to now do the shuttle runs in place. And that's a good example. You know, it could be that we started off with some options, but we decide, hey, you know what? I need to switch things up in order to keep moving. And so that's completely fine if we decide, hey, you know what? I need to switch up my style of shuttle runs or any other movement. So Twin One getting into round 4 here. Starting on these lunges. Beatrice on these lunges. And on a long workout like this, guys, this is where we really want to understand the power of pacing. You know, if we come out too hot, then we're just kind of sucking wind for the rest of the workout. We want to start at a nice steady pace that we can stick with and even go faster toward the end. And so we're holding on to this steady pace here. And as we get into the last about 4 minutes of the workout, that's where I'm going to give you that 4-minute warning today for us to really kick it in gear and see if we can go faster. But awesome work here, guys. Let's do it. Deep into this 4th round, most of us getting these step ups. Mighty Mouse already on these clean and jerks, moving that heavy dumbbell. Beatrice as well. About to hit the clean and jerks. And notice the deep breaths here that are going to help us to keep moving forward and give our muscles the oxygen they need. So let's keep breathing deep. Let's keep moving steady. Getting through these clean and jerks. Getting on to some shuttle runs. So nice work here, guys. Finishing off with that dumbbell, moving on to some runs. And there goes Twin One. And we got Beatrice finishing off some runs. We got Mighty Mouse finishing off some runs. And that's how we know everyone is getting the workout that they need. We're all using different weights, using different options, but pretty much moving together here, hitting a similar pace. Nice work. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And there goes Twin One, getting into this round 5 here. Locking that arm out overhead. Nice big lunge steps. Millicent as well on these overhead step ups. Locking that arm out. Beatrice locking that arm out. Mighty Mouse already on some Totem Broom in this round. But great pacing so far, guys. Big steps, knee to the ground. And we are reaching up, touching those toes, bracing every single rep, taking that deep breath in. And let's do this thing, guys. And if the double leg is getting a lot, we can do some of these other options. We see Millicent still doing these single leg raises. Lots of different options to challenge ourselves. But awesome work here. Mighty Mouse on these clean and jerks. Making that dumbbell look lighter and lighter each round. She's like, it doesn't feel like it, but she is moving with some determination. Twin One about to hit these clean and jerks as well. Deep breath. Boom, hitting that punch. Keeping the chest up as we get that dumbbell back. Beatrice as well on some clean and jerks. We got Millicent on some clean and jerks. Using the legs to power this movement here, guys. After those clean and jerks, taking off on some other shuttle runs. Mighty Mouse on these shuttle runs. Beatrice on these shuttle runs. Millicent on these shuttle runs. Twin One about to join in on these shuttle runs. In a race with Kirby every single round. That's definitely one of Kirby's favorite mini games to play. But great pacing so far, guys. Most of us finishing off round 5 here, going into round 6. And we're getting into target window area today. So great choices all around. Let's keep this intensity. It's very easy to kind of slip, especially this deep into the workout. But let's stay focused. Let's hold on to this consistent pace and even kick it in gear as we get to the end. I'm going to give you a 4-minute warning today. So nice big steps on these lunges, keeping that arm locked out. As we get tired, it's really easy to let that slip, but let's have a stable overhead position. Let's lock that out. Punching it up, pulling it back. Getting that full range of motion, whether that's knee to the ground or fully extended at the top of a step up, if that's what we're choosing to do. but whatever we're doing, let's get that full range of motion. Moving on to these toe to broom. Great work here, guys. Getting the full range of motion on the toe to broom, whether we're doing double leg, single leg, whatever we're doing. Let's reach as high as we can. Even if we have to take some breaks, maybe we do 2s, 3s at a time, then so be it. Quick rest, but steady pace. We are chugging along here. Moving on to some clean and jerks. Deep breath. Hitting a nice 8 here. Using the power of the glutes and the legs. And just like that, guys, we are at the 4-minute warning. So we've been holding on to a nice steady pace here. And this is where we can kick it in gear. And if we really play our cards right, see if we can squeeze in one more whole round. Let's at least try and get back to where we are right now. If we're on that dumbbell, let's get back to that dumbbell. If we're on these runs, let's get back to these runs. But no matter where we are, let's do our best to squeeze in at least one more round here, guys. Doing what we gotta do. Staying consistent, staying motivated. This is where we're digging deep. This is where we WOD with no regrets. This is an AMRAP, meaning as many rounds as possible. We want to know at the end of this, we did everything we could. So we take that quick breath, we get right back into it. We're hitting these reps here, guys. Getting down on these lunges. Mighty Mouse on these toe to broom. We are counting down here. Just about 2 minutes left. Let's dig deep. Let's do what we can. Let's do what we came here to do, guys. Deep breath. Getting that knee to the ground. Taking those big lunge steps. Getting that full range of motion. Toes to the broom. Awesome work here, guys. Just about 1 minute left. Let's get another rep. Let's dig deep. Let's do what we gotta do. If we're on these runs, we are sprinting these runs out. Just about 50 seconds here. If we're on this dumbbell, we're holding on to this dumbbell here. Just 8 reps here. Let's do this thing. jumping that up, punching that back. Ten seconds left. Let's get another rep. Let's get another rep. 3, 2, 1, and time. Man, here we are. Who would have thought 24 minutes later? But we survived. We are here. And I'll tell you what, we are at the best part of the workout right now, which is the cool down stretch. This stretch is super important to help us fight soreness, increase flexibility, so we can come back day after day, staying consistent and committed. So the first stretch we're going to do today is the saddle eagle stretch. And it's helpful to start the saddle in a kneeling position. And we're going to sit back toward those heels. If all we got is this, that's cool. But if we could sit all the way back on those heels, great. And then the eagle part of the stretch is the one elbow on top of the other like this. And while we're doing this, let's reflect on the workout. Let's do some high-low buffalo. So, high. What is one thing you feel you did well in the workout today? Low. What is something you want to do better the next time it shows up? And buffalo. What is something that surprised you about the workout today? While we're thinking about that, let's switch here. Let's get the other elbow. And let's hear first from twin one. And if we're doing this from the seated position, we're doing just the elbow part of the stretch like this. But what is your high-low buffalo twin one?
So my high, I think today was the shuttle runs. The low was the overhead walking lunge. I usually like those, but today I was like hating them. But the buffalo was, I got a little bit more done than I thought I would. So I'm excited about that.
Awesome work there. And you know, in a long one like this, there's definitely a lot of wiggle room to play with, as long as, of course, we pace ourselves right. So good job there, twin one. Let's go ahead now and switch to the pigeon. We're going to get the one leg up across the chest, the other leg back, and we are sinking into this pose like this. And while we're doing the pigeon over here, let's hear from Millicent. And if we're doing this from the seated position, then we're getting the one elbow up and pulling to the side like this. But what is your high-low buffalo, Millicent?
Well, my high, I have to say to step up, because I didn't think that I could keep holding my arm up today. But I was able to do a lower one for my right side, and I was able to use a heavier dumbbell for the other side. My low is I still have to work hard on doing the lunges. I haven't got to that yet, but I was glad that I was able to do the single leg raise up. And then the buffalo is that I got into as many rounds as I did. As soon as you said 24, it's like I was about to shut down, but I was able to keep up, and I'm grateful that I was able to do it with lots of sweat. Lots of sweat.
Lots of sweat indeed. But you know what? You rose to the challenge. You didn't back down. And so glad you kept pushing to the end. And let's go ahead and hit pigeon on the other side now. So we got the other leg up and across the chest, other leg back, sinking into this pose like this. And while we're on this side, let's hear from Mighty Mouse. If we're doing this from the seated position, we're getting the other arm up, pulling to the side. But what is your high-low buffalo, Mighty Mouse?
My high was the clean and jerks. I didn't have a low, but my buffalo was one round. I forgot what arm I used for the clean and jerks. I think I did it twice, and so it was a good workout altogether.
And you know what? I'm sure you're not alone on that. It's as much as we prepare and as much as we write down the workouts, there's always some details that, we get the WOD brain going on, right? But good job there, Mighty Mouse. At least you kept going. You didn't let that stop you. Well, that's our WOD. That's our stretch. That's our high-low buffalo. Let's go ahead and hit this sweaty selfie. Because does this count if we don't take this selfie? Let's flex on the camera here, guys. And let's take this selfie. Sweaty selfie. In 3, 2, 1. And crazy face. And let's go ahead and put the fist in the middle for the cheer. On 3, 2 claps, fit crew. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Fit crew.
Fit crew. Thank you guys so much. If you enjoyed this program, then please give this channel a subscribe, a like, and a share. Thank you very much, and see you next time.